The warning. The message arrived at Earth Central Command on an ordinary Tuesday. Admiral Helena Reyes stared at the holographic projection hovering above the circular command table, her weathered face betraying nothing as the alien diplomat's message played for the third time. People of Earth, the Valkyrie ambassador's translator rendered in perfect English, his four eyes blinking in an unsynchronized pattern that humans found distinctly unsettling. The Valkyrie Dominion has determined that your world possesses resources vital to galactic stability. As a non-voting associate member of the Galactic Consortium, Earth is hereby notified of resource reclamation proceedings beginning in 14 standard cycles. Your cooperation will be noted favorably in resettlement considerations. The message ended abruptly. No farewell, no diplomatic niceties. Admiral Reyes looked around the table at Earth's Security Council, 12 men and women representing the unified governments of humanity. They had achieved peace among themselves only 30 years prior, just in time to join the wider galactic community as a fledgling species. "They're giving us 2 weeks to evacuate the planet," General Zhang said, his voice tight with barely controlled rage. "Not evacuate," corrected Director Singh of Intelligence. "They're giving us notice that they're taking Earth, and we can either accept refugee status on some backwater world, or resist and be eliminated," finished Reyes. Classic colonizer's ultimatum. Same story, different century. President Okafor leaned forward, her dark eyes scanning each face around the table. "Options. Diplomatic channels," suggested Ambassador Ilara Chen. "The consortium has laws against unilateral planetary acquisition, even if we're only associate members." "Military response?" asked General Zhang. Admiral Reyes shook her head. "The Valkyrie Dominion has a fleet that could reduce our orbital defenses to dust in hours. We've seen what they did to the Proxima colony last year when they refused mining rights." Silence fell over the room as the implications sank in. Humanity had only been spacefaring for 80 years, interstellar for barely 40. The Valkyrie had been crossing the void for millennia. "There is another option," said Director Singh quietly. All eyes turned to him. "Project Prometheus." President Okafor's eyes widened. "That's theoretical. Untested." "Not entirely," corrected Singh. "The deep space tests were successful. We just haven't deployed the system because of the potential diplomatic repercussions." Ambassador Chen looked troubled. "If we deploy Prometheus, we're effectively announcing to the galaxy that we've been concealing advanced technology. That violates our consortium entrance agreements." "And if we don't," countered Admiral Reyes, "we lose Earth." President Okafor stood up, her decision made. "Activate Prometheus. Ambassador Chen, you'll travel to the consortium central hub. Delay the Valkyrie through diplomatic channels as long as possible. The rest of you, prepare humanity for what's coming." 3 days later, Ambassador Ilara Chen stood before the Galactic Consortium's adjudication chamber, a cavernous space with rising tiers of seats occupied by representatives of over 200 spacefaring civilizations. The Valkyrie delegation, with their chitinous gray-blue exoskeletons and multiple eyes, occupied a prominent position near the consortium arbiter. "The claim put forward by Earth is simple," Chen stated, her voice amplified throughout the chamber. "Under Consortium Treaty Section 412, no member may unilaterally appropriate the homeworld of another sentient species." The Valkyrie Prime Delegate's mandibles clicked in what Chen had learned was amusement. Earth is not a full member, merely an associate. Section 412 protections apply only to full members. "That is a narrow interpretation," Chen countered. "It is the correct interpretation," the arbiter ruled, a gelatinous being whose translucent body pulsed with bioluminescent patterns. "Associate members receive trade and limited diplomatic protections, not territorial sovereignty guarantees." Chen felt her heart sink, but maintained her diplomatic composure. "Then Earth formally petitions for emergency full membership status." The chamber erupted in chittering, rumbling, and electronic communications as the delegates conferred. The Valkyrie Prime Delegate rose. Such a petition requires sponsorship from 3 existing full members and a probationary period of no less than 5 stellar cycles, he stated. The Valkyrie Dominion objects to this transparent delay tactic. Chen scanned the chamber, noting with dismay that no delegates were rising to support Earth's petition. The major powers, the Valkyrie, the Selnari Collective, the Jox Imperium, all had their eyes on Earth's resources. The smaller powers feared retribution if they opposed the Dominion. The petition is denied, the arbiter announced. Resource reclamation may proceed according to established protocols. Chen's communicator vibrated subtly against her wrist. A message from Earth. Prometheus, active. Return I'm an EDA. Before I depart, Chen said, drawing herself up to her full height, I am instructed to deliver a final message from Earth. The chamber quieted, curious. There is one rule about Earth that the galaxy should understand, she said clearly. Earth is not yours to take. This isn't a threat. It's simply a fact. We hope to join this community as equals, but we will not be conquered. The Valkyrie Prime delegate's mandibles clicked rapidly. Bold words from a species whose most advanced warships would struggle against our scout vessels. Chen smiled thinly. We'll see. As her diplomatic shuttle broke orbit from the consortium hub, Chen observed the massive Valkyrie war fleet assembling. Hundreds of ships, from dreadnoughts to strike cruisers, prepared to jump toward the Sol system. Against them, Earth had fewer than 30 space-capable military vessels. But they also had Prometheus. When the Valkyrie fleet emerged from FTL at the edge of the Sol system, Admiral Rice stood on the bridge of the EDF Sentinel, Earth's largest warship. Alongside it floated the entire Earth defense fleet, 28 ships arranged in defensive formation around the homeworld. Incoming transmission from the Valkyrie flagship, reported her communications officer. The holographic display flickered to life, showing the Valkyrie fleet commander, his exoskeleton adorned with combat markings. This is your final opportunity to surrender Earth peacefully, he stated without preamble. Your species may retain limited habitation rights in designated sectors if you comply immediately. Admiral Rice regarded him calmly. We have a counter-proposal. There will be no negotiation, the commander said dismissively. I'm not negotiating, Rice replied. I'm giving you a warning. Leave now or discover why Earth has remained unconquered throughout its history. The Valkyrie commander made the clicking sound that Chen had identified as amusement. Your primitive weapons cannot harm our shielded vessels. Your planet has never faced the Dominion before. Reyes allowed herself a small smile. Actually, there's one rule about Earth that you should know. Earth is not yours to take. You're not the first to try. You won't be the first to fail. She cut the transmission and turned to her tactical officer. Activate Prometheus. Throughout the Sol system, previously hidden satellites emerged from stealth configurations. On Earth, deep underground facilities hummed as systems came online. In the asteroid belt and the moons of Jupiter, concealed installations activated. The Valkyrie fleet began its advance, weapons systems powering up. They're in range, the tactical officer announced. Admiral Reyes nodded. Initiate the first phase. The vastness of space between the Valkyrie fleet and Earth suddenly rippled, like heat waves over desert sand. The leading Valkyrie ships slowed, then stopped completely as if caught in invisible amber. Space-time manipulation field holding, reported the science officer. Localized gravity distortion at 300% of projected efficiency. The Valkyrie ships hung motionless, trapped in a bubble of warped space-time that Earth scientists had been secretly perfecting for decades. While publicly developing conventional propulsion and weapon systems, Earth's hidden laboratories had been working on something far more fundamental, the ability to manipulate the fabric of space-time itself. Second phase, ordered Reyes. From the hidden installations across the solar system, focused beams of energy converged on the immobilized Valkyrie ships. Not destructive energy, something far more sophisticated. The beams interfaced directly with the ship's quantum computing cores, inserting cascading logic errors that spread through their systems like a virus. One by one, the Valkyrie vessels went dark, their advanced systems corrupted beyond recovery. No destruction, no loss of life, just complete technological neutralization. As Ambassador Chen's shuttle approached Earth, she witnessed the aftermath. The proud Valkyrie fleet suspended helplessly in space, their systems disabled, while Earth's modest defense fleet remained untouched. President Okafor's voice came through on the command channel, addressing not just the fleet but the people of Earth, and through deliberately unsealed communications, the Valkyrie and beyond. Today, humanity demonstrates that we will not be conquered, she declared. We have disabled the Valkyrie fleet without taking a single life. We now offer assistance to the crew members aboard those vessels. This is not an act of war, but of self-defense, and a statement to the galaxy. She paused, letting her words carry weight. There is one rule about Earth that all should understand. Earth is not yours to take. Remember this, and we can build a peaceful future together as equals. Forget it, and witness this scene repeated. As Earth's medical and rescue ships approached the disabled Valkyrie vessels, Ambassador Chen couldn't help but smile. Humanity had just changed the rules of the game. The response. The consortium emergency session convened 3 days after what was already being called the Seoul Incident. Ambassador Elara Chen took her place at the Earth delegation's platform, now positioned prominently in the chamber rather than in the associate members section. The atmosphere was electric with tension. Representatives from over 200 spacefaring civilizations murmured, clicked, hummed, and flashed in their various forms of communication. At the center, the gelatinous arbiter pulsed with agitated bioluminescence. This emergency session addresses the military action taken by Earth against the Valkyrie Dominion. The arbiter announced, "We will hear from both parties." The Valkyrie Prime Delegate rose, his 4 eyes fixed on Chen with undisguised hatred. Earth has revealed itself as a deceptive and dangerous species, he declared. They concealed advanced technology, violating the technology disclosure protocols of their associate membership. They attacked a legitimate resource acquisition mission, paralyzing an entire fleet. We demand sanctions and reparations. When it was Chen's turn to speak, she stood calmly, surveying the chamber. Earth did not attack the Valkyrie, she stated firmly. We defended our homeworld against an unprovoked invasion. As for concealed technology, may I remind the consortium that full technological disclosure is required only of full members, not associates. She paused, letting the implications sink in. The Valkyrie used this very distinction to justify their attempted conquest of Earth. We simply applied the same principle to our defensive capabilities. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Chen had turned the Valkyrie's legal argument against them. Furthermore, she continued, I would like to address the concern that Earth poses a threat to the consortium. The Prometheus system is purely defensive. It cannot be deployed offensively, as it requires extensive ground-based infrastructure. Had the Valkyrie not invaded our system, they would never have encountered it. The representative from the Selnari Collective, a species of crystalline beings known for their logical thinking, raised a glittering appendage. If Earth possesses such advanced technology, why maintain the pretense of being a developing species? Why not apply for full membership? Chen smiled. Because we are still developing. Prometheus represents one area where we've made significant advances, but in many others, we remain centuries behind most consortium members. We sought to learn and grow within the galactic community at our own pace, not to be judged solely on our most advanced achievements. The chamber fell silent as the delegates processed this perspective. The Jock's representative, a massive entity composed of interlinked symbiotic organisms, spoke next. The disabled Valkyrie fleet, what are Earth's intentions? We have already begun restoring their systems and providing humanitarian assistance, Chen replied. Every crew member is being treated with dignity. We seek no punishment, only recognition of our right to exist unmolested in our own system. In the days that followed, the diplomatic landscape of the galaxy shifted dramatically. The Valkyrie Dominion, humiliated but unwilling to risk further confrontation, withdrew their claim on Earth's resources. Smaller species, impressed by humanity's restraint and victory, began approaching Earth for alliance talks. On Earth itself, the mood was cautiously optimistic. In the Oval Office of what had once been the White House, now part of the United Earth Government Complex, President Okafor met with Admiral Reyes, Director Singh, and Ambassador Chen. "The consortium has scheduled a vote on our full membership application," Chen reported. "With the Selnari and 3 other major civilizations sponsoring us, approval seems likely." "And the Valkyrie?" asked Reyes. "Licking their wounds," said Singh. "Our intelligence suggests they're frantically trying to understand how Prometheus works. They won't succeed. The principles are so counterintuitive to their technology that their scientists can't even frame the right questions." President Okafor nodded thoughtfully. "We've earned a respite, but this isn't over. Once the shock wears off, other powers will test us." "They already are," confirmed Singh. "We've detected probes from 6 different species at the edges of our system. Observation only, so far." "Let them observe," said Reyes. "Let them see that we're continuing humanitarian assistance to the Valkyrie crews. Let them see that we're dismantling the active Prometheus fields now that the threat has passed." "But not dismantling Prometheus itself," noted Okafor. "Never," agreed Reyes. "That stays ready." 1 month later, the Selnari Collective hosted an unprecedented summit. For the first time, Earth was invited to present to the consortium's most powerful members as an equal. Ambassador Chen, accompanied by a team of Earth's finest scientists and diplomats, arrived at the Crystalline Palace on Selnar Prime. The Selnari Premier, a being who resembled a complex geometric sculpture of living crystal, greeted them personally. "Your handling of the Valkyrie situation has intrigued us," the Premier communicated, their thoughts translated through advanced technology, "particularly your decision not to destroy their fleet when you clearly could have." Chen nodded. "Destruction was never our objective. We believe in proportional response and minimum necessary force. A philosophy at odds with much of galactic history," noted the Premier. "Tell me, Ambassador, what does Earth want from the wider galaxy?" "The same thing all sentient beings want," Chen replied. "The freedom to determine our own destiny, to learn, to grow, to contribute. We don't seek conquest or dominion, only partnership and mutual respect." The Premier's crystalline form refracted light in patterns indicating deep thought. "Your species is young, yet you've mastered technology that eludes civilizations thousands of years older. This creates uncertainty." "I understand," Chen said. "Allow me to propose something that might address that uncertainty." The proposal she outlined became known as the Earth Protocol, a new addition to consortium law that would be ratified within the year. It established the absolute right of sentient species to their homeworlds, regardless of membership status. It created mechanisms for technology sharing while protecting intellectual property. Most importantly, it redefined resource acquisition to require genuine partnership rather than coercion. In a private moment during the negotiations, the Selnari Premier confronted Chen with unusual directness. "There's something your species isn't revealing," the Premier stated. "Your advancement in space-time manipulation cannot have developed in isolation." Chen maintained her diplomatic composure. "Every species has its unique insights." "Indeed," agreed the Premier. "The Jocks excelled in biotechnology, the Valkyrie in quantum computing, we Selnari in crystalline fusion. But humanity, you approached problems differently." "Is that so surprising?" asked Chen. "We evolved on a world of predators, survived ice ages and cataclysms, nearly destroyed ourselves multiple times with our own technology. Perhaps necessity drove innovation in unexpected directions." The Premier's crystalline form shimmered in what Chen had learned was the equivalent of laughter. "Or perhaps," the Premier suggested, "Earth has been protecting itself long before humans developed technology. There are ancient records, largely dismissed as myth, about expeditions to your solar system that never returned. Chen merely smiled. Every world has its mysteries, Premier. As Ambassador Chen returned to Earth, she gazed out at the stars with new perspective. The disabled Valkyrie fleet had been restored and escorted from the system. Earth's full membership in the consortium was proceeding rapidly. Humanity had gained not just respect, but a voice in galactic affairs. In her official report to President Okafor and the Security Council, she included a personal observation. We've established one clear rule that the galaxy now understands. Earth is not theirs to take. But perhaps the greater achievement is that we've done so without becoming what we feared. We defended without destroying, protected without conquering, and turned potential enemies into reluctant admirers. The question remains, was it Prometheus that saved us, or the choice of how to use it? Either way, humanity has announced its presence in the galaxy not as conquerors or victims, but as something the consortium hasn't seen before. A young species with ancient wisdom, technological prowess tempered by restraint, and the determination to forge our own path among the stars. Admiral Reyes read the report and smiled. If only Chen knew the full truth, that Prometheus was just the first of Earth's hidden technologies, the tip of the spear. Deep beneath the lunar surface, Project Olympus was already underway, developing capabilities that would make Prometheus seem primitive by comparison. The galaxy had learned one rule about Earth. Eventually, they might learn another. Never underestimate humanity's capacity for innovation. For now, though, the stars seemed a little more welcoming, the future a little brighter. Earth had found its voice among the cosmos, and the cosmos had finally learned to listen.